napakahalaga ng post-harvest facilities para sa ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda. Kung wala po ang ganitong storage facility, mawawalan po ng saysay yung ginagawa po ng ating magsasaka at mangingisda. Dahil dito po, napapadala ang kanilang mga produkto bago po umabot sa ating mga pagkainan. Agriculture contributes 18% to GDP. It employs 34% of our country's labor force. But that is agriculture, pure, unadulterated agriculture. If you include agri-related industries like a cold storage facility such as this, the contribution to GDP would reach almost 50%. Contribution in terms of labor will be around 60%, directly and indirectly employed by agriculture. Which tells us, therefore, that we are largely still an agriculture and agriculture-related economy. And if we are to move forward and reach developed nation status like Malaysia, Taiwan, South Korea, Thailand, we're going to have to modernize and develop our agriculture sector. We're going to have to up incomes of our farmers and fisherfolk. Half the nation's population are still rural-based. If you up incomes of our farmers and fisherfolk, you're actually directly affecting half the nation's population. And many of us know, when your farmers have money to spend, your retail industry will balloon. Your services industry likewise will balloon. People will now want to put their money in banks. People will now want to buy air conditioners or vehicles. In Thailand, the #1 country buying 4x4s in the world, simply because it is the choice of the farmer. The vehicle of choice of the farmer is a 4x4. You can imagine what will happen to our processing zones in Laguna, in Cavite, if the farmers and the fisher folks' income increase. When they increase, baka mag-increase, definitely mag-increase na rin ang number of hours of production. Baka mag-double or triple, mag-expand ang mga Panasonic, mga Hyundai, mga Kia, Toyota, and so forth and so on. If we want to reach developed nation status in 20 years' time, there's no going around it. We have to address agriculture and fisheries. We have to modernize. And this is an example of what modernization is all about. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of time. The average age of our Filipino farmer and fisher folk is 57 years old. The average income from farming or agriculture is 23,000 pesos a year. And your average farmer farms 2 hectares of land. No economies of scale, not earning enough, and that's why you have people going overseas. And that's why you have a new generation of Filipinos not wanting to go into farming. If the new generation of Filipinos don't go into farming, there is no future for this nation. Because where will we get the food to eat? Who will grow our crops? Who will grow our livestock? When no one, the next generation, wants to go into it. So it is critical to make farming and fisheries viable. It's critical to provide support for our farming and fisheries communities. And that's why a cold storage facility such as this is critical. Just 2 very basic examples. Kalasag Cooperative is an onion producing cooperative in Nueva Ecija. In 2008, they entered into a joint venture, a supply agreement rather, with Jollibee Foundation to supply the onion requirements of Jollibee. Jollibee Foundation, out of corporate social responsibility, decided to adopt Kalasag Cooperative. At that point, they were doing 60 tons of onions a year. 2008. After the support given, because of that supply agreement, they became bankable. They decided that they needed storage facilities, and they borrowed money so that they could rent storage facilities. Because they could rent storage facilities, they had the confidence to plant more. Because if they don't have storage facilities, planting more will only mean mabubulungan sila. And so because of that storage facility, they were able to plant more, they were able to produce more. By the end of 4 years, from 60 tons, they were already producing 240 tons. 4 times more. Precisely because they were able to afford cold storage facilities. And when it was 4 times more yield, yung isa, natubos na yung kanyang sinanlang lupa. Yung isa, nakabili na ng lupa, 1 hektarya. Yung isa, sinanlaan na siya ng lupa. Lahat sila, meron ng motorsiklo o kaya tricycle. At lahat sila, yung alahas ng mga misis nila, natubos na po nila. In 4 years' time. In 4 years' time. And that's because of the cold storage facilities made available, among other things. Then being bankable, they were able to borrow money. Yung microfinance organization has lent them 8 million pesos in the last 5 years. And has earned 2 million pesos from that arrangement. So that's cold storage facility for you, the critical importance. And second, in Baguio, in Benguet, I was there as chairman of the Agri Committee. There, prior to the introduction of cold storage facilities, and June will tell me this, they don't use cold storage facilities because they deliver it straight to Manila. But at what cost? The study conducted by the Benguet provincial government showed that because of that kind of style, 67% of their produce is lost by the time it reaches the table. When the Benguet provincial government put up a cold storage facility in the area, they were able to reduce the losses to 5% of your broccoli, of your cauliflower, and so forth and so on. If you reduce your losses by 5%, you can imagine the incomes that will come to the farmer and the fisherman. Simply because of proper cold storage facility and proper handling, from 67% loss, it is now down to 5% loss. And so you can imagine the incomes that have benefited these farmers and fishermen. There are 230,000 farming households in Benguet. There are 230,000 families, and they are tilling 160,000 hectares. Can you imagine if you get 5% of that to come here? They produce 1 ton a month, according to the provincial government. 1 ton of vegetables and produce a month. Can you imagine if you just get a portion of that? And how we will be able to help our farmers. And that's why I'm here. And that's why we are supporting this expansion of this facility. Government is committed today, in fact, to agriculture. In fact, the largest allocation of budgetary increase, if we call it in 2012, was for agriculture. Precisely, the President recognizes the critical role of agriculture in developing our nation into or reaching developed nation status. And so I'm here, I speak to all the farmers. I think it's time we put a premium and place a primacy to our farmers and fisherfolk. Because when we do that, we can never be a strong nation when half the nation's population is not heard or their wants and their desires ignored. And hopefully, with our partnership with the private sector, this will be a thing of the past. And we will see in 15 years' time the boom of our economy, a sustainable economy, because we address the issues that are long-term and strategic. Modernizing our farming and fishing, upping the incomes of our farmers and fisherfolk will unleash a multiplier effect that will move our economy towards developed nation status, yes, in 15 to 20 years. Congratulations, John, for being part of this effort to modernize agriculture and fisheries. Let's look at how we can partner, let's look at how we can come together and move agriculture and fisheries forward. Magandang tanghali po sa kanila lahat at maraming salamat.
Thank you very